Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
This day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. Every decision on trade, on taxes, on immigration, on foreign affairs will be made to benefit American workers and American families. I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down. We will bring back our jobs. We will bring back our borders. We will bring back our wealth. And we will bring back our dreams. Do not allow anyone to tell you that it cannot be done. No challenge can match the heart and fight and spirit of America. We will not fail. January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again.
TN Action Summit, please come in. This is Marine One. Be advised, Eagle is inbound. I repeat, Eagle is inbound.
Everyone, welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, exposing the Democrat Party and the propaganda, and giving you the real news every single night, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And right after the show is the Wayne Dupree Show. Comes on at 8, go to 8 to 9. So you've got 2 hours from 7 to 9 of real news, real information, of great content, exposing fake news every single night, Monday through Friday. And down in the description below is the link for the Wayne Dupree Show, so you can check that out right after this one's over. Also, the Patreon.com. Guys, this show couldn't be possible without our great Patreons, and I thank you absolutely so very, very much. You guys have really helped build up this show to bring it to a video as well as audio now. Thank you very much for years that you have been with us, and I really appreciate it. So if you like the show, you like what you hear, jump in the description below, become a Patreon. Now has never been more of a critical time than ever to become a Patreon and to get the real news, real information out every single night, as well as the iHeartRadio link if you want to listen to the show audio only. And then if you get shadow banned and issues that everybody's got, I've got them too, jump down in the description, click the Telegram app, join the group, and you'll get the link to the show and the show notes every single day, right around 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And if you are a Patreon, you'll get the show notes early. You'll be able to watch the show early on. You get more perks. And so get the app, and then underneath that is Parler.com if you're over on Parler. And then the most important thing right there, the full show notes. That link, share that with your friends and your family. In that link will take you directly to NewRightNetwork.com and the full show notes, as well as the embed video of this show. Down in the show notes, you'll see all the different links to all the great patriots that helped to create this show and make this show possible. A Red Pill Report, Jamie, Dr. D. Hannon, all of it right here, as well as some of the great articles that we'll be talking about in the show today. You can go back, reference the article, read the entire article as well. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, last night was absolute pure insanity with the Democrats and their debate, I guess. It was more of a roundtable of hate, not much really debating, but more just hating on Donald Trump. Trump derangement syndrome on full display last night. You don't need to watch it. We got it here for you. Little clips back and forth, but not too much. But we'll show you. Guys, they're eating their own. Chris Matthews is eating his own. Clair McCaskill as well. Just absolute total insanity, but we've got it for you, as well as Donald Trump news. That's at the top of the show notes so that you can enjoy some great news, some great information. Our president absolutely going all out, pulling out all stops to make America great again. We've got it. We've got black Americans that are jumping off the Democrat plantation and joining the Trump train. You don't have to call yourself a Republican. Don't matter. Don't worry about that. You don't have to call yourself a conservative. Just say, I'm on the Trump train. That's all that matters. And speaking about that, we've got a great guy that's running against AOC in the 14th district in New York. He's good. He's great. Used to be a gangster, but has found Christ and has turned his life completely around. I understand where he comes from. I'm never a gangster, but I come from a twice broken home and left the church all throughout my teens, my 20s, and my 30s. And when I met my wife, brought myself back to church. And then our new church that we've been going to, our pastor, just absolutely incredible, and developing my relationship with Christ now in my 40s. So I understand coming back around again, born again Christian, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so great video clips on him calling her out, calling out Al Sharpton, truth to power. Just one little thing. Just, I know it's New York. I know they cuss, but maybe cuss just a little less. Maybe don't drop the F-bomb. Anyways, do what you want. It's free country. That might get him elected. I don't know. But here, family-friendly show. We'll bleep it out for you. Don't worry about that, guys. It's all good times. And as we start the show off, let's start off with some great stuff. This is our good friend at A Red Pill Report, a great one to follow, great patriot. He tweets out at Real Donald Trump reads The Snake poem.
Who has heard the poem called The Snake? So I have it. Does anybody want to hear it again? You sure? Are you sure? Okay. So let's dedicate this to General Kelly, the Border Patrol, and the ICE agents for doing such an incredible job. All right? This was written by Al Wilson a long time ago. And I thought of it having to do with our borders and people coming in. And we know what we're going to have. We're going to have problems. We have to very, very carefully vet. We have to be smart. We have to be vigilant. So here it is, The Snake. It's called The Snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. The border. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. He hadn't brought you in by now, oh heavens, you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I have saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Pinch yourself every single day. We are never going to have a president like this ever again. And he reading the snake poem out there in, Pennsylvania, I believe, reading the poem, talking about the Democrats. Guys, this is on display. We are watching the Democrat Party as they are losing millions of votes from the Hispanic community, millions of votes from the black community, Asian community. I mean, they're losing them. A Jewish community, hashtag Jexit, hashtag Blexit, hashtag walk away. And so they're desperate to get more votes. And how are they doing that? Illegal aliens cross the border, calling out our border patrol as criminals, talking about the law enforcement and security running concentration camps. Yeah, this does not work with middle America. This does not work with America at all. And I was telling you about the Democrat debate last night. On display, full out, they hate America. They truly, truly hate America. And they live in some kind of alternate universe. And I'm going to show you guys from one side to the other. I'm going to show you exactly who they are, what they're doing, and how they are completely disconnected with all of reality. And this, our good friend at Black Widow 1928. Federal judge orders deportation of DACA recipient for smuggling illegals. DACA status revoked after guilty plea to transporting illegals for financial gain, causing risks to serious bodily injury and death. Yep, this is what happened. I mean, thank God that our Border Patrol agents are safe and secure. What had happened is this DACA recipient was allowed to be in America, and he was traveling back and forth to Mexico, picking up illegals and bringing them back to America as he veered off the road to go off-road to avoid law enforcement. The chase ensued. He wrecked. All of a sudden, he was at the wheel and admitted to bringing them over. And the individuals, the illegals that he brought over, admitted to paying him between $4,000 and $6,000 in order for him to bring them over to America. This has really got to stop. This is infuriating everybody. This is your Democrat Party embracing illegals, allowing lawlessness run amok. Look at the cities that they reign over. We talked about Baltimore multiple times, Chicago, Los Angeles, Houston, Dallas, and some of these other cities that have a lot of problems. There's people talking back and forth on Twitter. Well, yeah, but you've got Governor Republican. You've got this Republican and this. And I'm like, whoa. Just because you got a Republican governor doesn't mean that the Democrat running Cincinnati isn't wrecking it with a choo-choo train to nowhere, less than a mile light rail, costing the government, federal government under Obama, donated $80 million, and then city of Cincinnati had to pony up $40 million. He ran on the notion that he was going to get rid of the choo-choo to nowhere. He got in office and said, guys, I got bad news. He's a Democrat, though, but I'm telling you, and called Cincinnati Sanctuary City. But he said, guys, I got bad news. Yeah, they already spent the $80 million. So if we don't finish the choo-choo train with the other $40 million, we owe the feds $80 million, and that's going to bankrupt us. $40 million is probably going to bankrupt us, too, anyway. So, state of Ohio, individual cities run by Democrats are being wrecked. And speaking of Ohio, our good friend Dr. D. Hennon, great patriot to follow, Hennon for Ohio 2020, and he tweets out, "And all of America saw Tim Ryan show his disdain for America. Dwayne Hennon for Congress, 13th District, Trump 2020 at Real Donald Trump." So you see old boy standing there during the national anthem, hands down at his waist, no covering the heart, where you see some of the other Democrats covering their hearts, but their faces aren't looking too happy. It is unbelievable how you can have so much hate and contempt for the greatest country human beings have ever seen in all of human history. Christianity, based on Christian Judeo values coupled with capitalism, a power, a force to be reckoned with. We've given more to the world, more ideas, more inventions, more greatness. And I'm not saying this to toot our horn. I'm just saying we've done a lot. And for the Democrats to be so hateful and ungrateful to the sacrifice of our men and women who've made this country great, talk about slavery and talk about Jim Crow laws and racist. Hey, guys, you and I both know it was all Republicans who did that to get rid of the Democrats and their slaves. It was us, the civil rights movement, the Republicans, and the Democrats with their propaganda, their lies, getting involved with their war machine, meaning the mainstream media, to trick an entire community, a whole section of America, to trick them into believing that those who saved you from slavery are actually the ones that want to put you back in chains. Joe Biden, Barack Obama, it's just out of control. And last night, Clair McCaskill, she's trending today, but she wasn't on the debate stage. But check out what she did. This is tweeted out by Parker Malloy. She's an editor at large, but she tweeted this video clip out. Out of curiosity, why does Clair McCaskill have all this free time to be a paid cable news commentator again? The reason why Clair McCaskill's got all this free time is because she was exposed as being a liar and a crook and a thief and a Democrat, lying to conservatives to win her seat, and she was overtaken by a true conservative Republican in her state because that's what they deserve. So here's what she does to spend her free time.
Senator, a very direct question having to do with Youngstown, Ohio, having to do with a place I used to live, Joplin, Missouri. What happens when you walk into those communities and say, great news, you're all going to get green jobs, we'll need the keys to your F-150s because we're going all electric?
It would not be good.
Yeah.
And I think what Tim Ryan is trying to express is a bucket of cold water, which is reality about where America is. America is generally not as far along the left line as Bernie and Elizabeth. Free stuff from the government does not play well in the Midwest.
Senator, a very direct...
And here's Clair McCaskill talking out the other side of her head, praises Pete Buttigieg as a leftist.
The next question.
Thank you. Mayor Pete, you've been crushing it out there. I've been paying attention. You are somebody who I think has good ideas, somebody who is executed on a local level. I think one of the most interesting things about you that I'm sure people do not know, how many languages do you speak?
It depends what you mean by speak. So I've gotten pretty rusty in my Arabic and my Dari, which I picked up Dari on my way to Afghanistan. I can still kind of read a newspaper in Norwegian, but only slowly.
Wow. So you have, and you speak Spanish, you are someone who clearly has been interested in learning more and being intellectually curious. And how important do you think that is for a president of the United States?
Yeah, I think curiosity is a really important quality for leadership.
Okay, I'm curious, Buttigieg. I'm curious about free health care for all. I'm curious about your socialist ideologies. I'm curious about Clair McCaskill, on one hand, to Brian Williams, bashes the Democrats for saying free health care for all, yet she lavishly loving on Buttigieg. I remember back when Mitt Romney, and I'm not praising Mitt Romney at all. Thank goodness he's been exposed as to the rotten egg that he is. But when his wife, beautiful, articulate, just a really nice woman, was on The View, they absolutely destroyed her with awful, evil questions, misleading, leading. It was just so hateful and so angry. And then juxtaposed when Michelle Mabel came on The View. It was just loving it. Just like this with Buttigieg. Oh, how many languages do you speak? And how the curiosity play as being a president of the United States. I'm like, nope, I'm sorry, Claire. That's why you lost your race, Claire, because you are two-faced. And I just showed you right here how two-faced she is. Also, the raising the minimum wage, that doesn't work well either, Pete Buttigieg. This tweeted out at D. Loesch, Dana Loesch. Sigh. I was raised by a single mom who worked minimum wage jobs and climbed the ladder. This sentiment ignores 2 Corinthians 9:7, also Matthew 20:15, after Jesus' parable, and the 2 Thessalonians 3:10. However, Christians are also instructed to be good stewards of their fellow man.
The minimum wage is just too low. And so-called conservative Christian senators right now in the Senate are blocking a bill to raise the minimum wage when Scripture says that whoever oppresses the poor taunts their maker.
Mayor, thank you very much.
The minimum wage is just too low. And so
we got the Democrats fighting each other on what the minimum wage should be. They're up on one another, and now we've got the newly elected, the Gang of Four, AOC, Ilhan Omar, saying that $20 now. 15? No, 15 ain't good enough, guys. We're going to give you 20 because we love you. Now, if you want to do some quick math and you want to know how much a year, $20 an hour a year is, how much is $15 an hour per year at 40 hours a week, no overtime. It's a very simple math, just a round number equation. Just take 15 times it by 2. That's 30. Add 3 zeros, 30,000. $20 an hour times 2, 40. Add 3 zeros, 40,000. $20 an hour, $40,000 a year for a 16-year-old? A 16-year-old kid. He wouldn't get a job. Guys, when I was out in California, I had a construction company, and it went south after 2008. Everything went south after 2008. And I fell back into machine shop world. And what I did, I got back in as a press brake operator, and I fought tooth and nail. I mean, it was almost impossible. I had skill from the Air Force. That was my background and my talent to do this job. And truly fought to get $16.75. $20 an hour? That's an absolute skilled machinist. You know what you're doing. You have capabilities. You have your own tools. And when I say your own tools, I'm talking thousands of dollars, your own tools, your own toolbox. You know how to program. You know how to set the machine up. I'm talking about real world experience and documented history. A 16-year-old, $20 an hour, 17, 18, 19. No way I could command $20 an hour from my boss until I was maybe 35, 30 years old. Yeah, somewhere around my 30s that I could command $20 an hour. There's just no way that this can happen. This is going to crush, reality check, this is going to crush our children's ability to get a job. It will send unemployment true to roof. Why stop at 20, guys? Why don't you make us all rich and make it $100 an hour? Why stop at 100? Go to 200. Make it $1 million an hour so that we can all retire in one hour. This is the nonsense, and this is how they keep the slavery going. The slavery plantation, keep raising the minimum wages so that 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds cannot get a job, cannot learn the critical skills that they need so that when they get out of high school, they can get a job working somewhere to be able to pay for their college and whatnot. This keeps people more poor and for longer extended periods of time. Minimum wage racist ideology coming from the Democrat Party once again right here, guys. And if the debate wasn't ridiculous enough, in this at Alicia Starr, oh my, Marini Williamson was yodeling.
Normally way over there with Bernie and normally way over there with Bernie and normally way over there with Bernie and
Oh my goodness, this woman, self-help guru, noted by Oprah, wrote books, self-help, and gained fame and notoriety in the 90s with Oprah and whatnot. And so now she is claiming to know what's better for the country with her yodeling. The mainstream media called it, her accent. She's just got an accent. Well, it's just like the rest of the Democrats. Y'all ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And as we talk about Chris Matthews and Brian Williams and what happened last night, the Democrat debate, this our friend at Steve Guest, GOP rapid response coordinator. Not good for Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren when MSNBC's Chris Matthews has negative reviews.
It's their event after all. Chris, this happens in debates. As much a discussion about who they are, how they want to present themselves as a party, as there was how they're going to beat this guy in 2020 if they're going to be successful.
Well, I think they were dealing with serious issues tonight. There's no doubt it. Let's talk about the issue that really drove Donald Trump's campaign last time, the illegal immigration, undocumented workers, if you will. They talked about making it non-criminal to come in the country illegally. Okay, that's going a bit further away from Trump. On health care, they talked about basically Medicare for your whole life or government-run health care. Well, that's going to cost more money. Obviously, if you pay in, as we all do, all of us do now, for Medicare, if you reach age 65, you're going to have to pay more to pay for your health care your whole life. But Warren wouldn't answer that question. Bernie said that's Republican talking points. So I think, and on the third one, they really disagreed on the Green New Deal. So past, current, and future, it seems to me they hit on the big ones tonight.
All right.
And speaking about Bernie Sanders tweeted out, I'm not just running to defeat the most dangerous president in our history who is a racist, a sexist, and a homophobe. I'm running to transform this country and to stand with the working class of America. #DemsDebate. Our good friend at Linda for America had some choice words for him. She said, yeah, we already had a president that promised to transform America. Obama very nearly destroyed our country. He gave us the war on cops, set race relations back 50 years, doubled the national debt, forced Obamacare down our throats. Trump isn't. Dangerous Democrats are. Well said. Absolutely. Guys, we got to continue to remind ourselves how far we have come. We got to remind ourselves what it was like under Obama, the wretched awfulness that was Obamacare, wrecking the economy, raising the national debt from $9 trillion to $19 trillion, more than any president in all of our history of America combined. He single-handedly, trillions. It was all gone. Sending billions to Iran. This is the insanity that we ran away from, and this is why Donald Trump was elected president. So there you go on Bernie Sanders, just knucklehead nonsense. And as we slam him around a little bit, got to kind of bust him up. Elizabeth Warren was confronted by Chris Matthews, and people are calling it despicable and shameful. You take a listen for yourself, and you tell me what you think.
They'll have to get more money.
Oh, what?
Well, your payroll will go up. You guys dodged that tonight.
No, it's not a dodging. It's about
because Jane Tapper kept saying, how much are your taxes going to go up? And you'd say,
how much are your costs going to go down?
No, different question. How much will your taxes go up?
No, it's how much are your costs? Because it's how much families end up spending.
I know that argument. I know how you cover it.
It's not just an argument. The Republicans did a study, and they hoped to show that Medicare for All was going to bust the budget. And you remember what it ended up showing? that Medicare for all is cheaper than our current system. That's the Republican.
I know the argument that you put it all together, you reduce the cost for health care premiums, and you get more benefits, and therefore you come out ahead. But will you pay more in taxes?
Why
don't you want to answer that question? Because Jake said tonight, that's a Republican talking point. It's not a Republican talking point. It's a question.
It's a question about where people are going to come out economically. Look,
that's not my question. That's not my question. My question is, how much will taxes go up?
I spent most of my life studying families that went broke. And a huge chunk of them went broke because of high medical bills, and many of them had health insurance. So the question is not, do you have health insurance or not have health insurance? The question is, how much are you going to have to dig in your pocket to pay?
I know that's the answer that you'd like to give, but when your taxes go up,
the question is your total cost.
Okay, but there's no answer to the question where your taxes
There is an answer to the question about your costs.
How about taxes?
Because it's costs that matter to people.
I'm not kidding. Let me ask you about this. You said...
Will taxes go up? Medicare for all. Well, let's look around the globe and see where that's being implemented and see how that's working out. Canada? No, that's not working out. Cuba? No, that's not working out. Where in the world has Medicare for all, government-run, single-payer healthcare, where in the world has that ever worked? How about in Germany back in the 1930s? No, that isn't working either. Come on, man. Absolutely. We see in Canada taxes skyrocketing through the roof to try and pay for this medical care. And if you're in Canada, there's all kinds of horror stories. This guy broke his leg, went to go see a doctor, couldn't get an appointment. His leg started to heal by the time he got to the doctor. They had to re-break it so that he could, fix it and align it properly. He got an infection for that. He wanted to go back again, had to wait another 30, 60, 90 days. And then he said by the time he got back, they had to amputate his leg. That's healthcare for all. You never hear a story like that in America. Never. People with money around the world come to America. Why? To get the greatness that capitalism produces. So as Chris Matthews bashes Elizabeth Warren, I believe that's by design to knock her out. The Democrat Party is tapping him to knock her out because she has no chance, snowball's chance in hell against Donald Trump. Not even close. Pocahontas. So Chris Matthews tapped to do this on purpose and then flips his script, if you will, and tweets out this clip of himself. Hardball Chris.
The moral dimension of next year's election. Much of our country's history has been a moral struggle. Don't you think? We had the battle hymn of the Republic playing as our country lost 600,000 lives in the war that ended slavery. And whatever else can be said about it, the Civil War was profoundly about that, ending the evil of one man owning another. Democrats. And then a century later came another moral victory with the Civil Rights Movement and the passage of the bill to end separate water fountains, white-only department store lunch counters, and white-only restaurants and hotels. And after that came the Voting Rights Act. In each of these cases, the country's majority population backed the moral course, ending slavery, ending Jim Crow, ending the deprivation of voter rights. And we now face another historic point of moral conflict and, for millions of voters, moral decision. Re-electing Donald Trump, given what he said from the very beginning as a national political force to his latest rants about sending home members of the United States Congress, reeks of immorality. You cannot be a good American and mock the Americanness of someone based on color or ethnicity for the simple reason that we are a country not based on such factors, but on more basic notions of liberty and human dignity. Re-electing Donald Trump would take us into a dangerous moral direction from which it will take a wrenching turn to get us back.
I beg to differ, Chris. Wow. Boy, did he get triggered. Let's go back to everything that Chris Matthews just said. That was the Republican Christians that made America great. We were the ones who fought the Civil War. We were the ones who fought for civil rights. Donald Trump, his entire life, has been fighting and working for civil rights. Guys, this is gaslighting of an entire party. This is to get their people triggered. You and I both know it's a complete fabrication, a complete opposite a total lie of who Donald Trump has been for his entire 73 years of life. A total and complete lie. This is why the Democrat Party and their voters are flipping and going for a more socialist, crazy notion, because these crazy ones will actually do what they're saying. This kind of gaslighting, it don't bode well for the Democrat Party. But, and this at Leah R77, retweet if you want to see Elijah Cummings and his wife's tax returns and full account of where the $16 billion POTUS sent went. So that's Gavin Newsom saying that we need to take Donald Trump's taxes, need to come out, attaching him to Nixon, Nixonian. It's just regurgitated BS all over again and again, again, bringing up Nixon, bringing up taxes, bringing up impeachment over and over. Hey, Gavin, why don't you focus on your cities there in California and how things are falling apart? Oh, and hey, by the way, how is that Medicare 100% for all illegals only? How's that working out for the black community? How's that working out for the white community? How's that working out for Americans in general? Yeah, sorry, buddy. And this our good friend at A Red Pill Report. Anti-Trump protesters cannot say why Donald Trump is racist. And this our good friend Charlie Kirk 11 goes out on the street.
How are you guys doing?
Why do you ask?
Good. Who's your sign against?
Who do you think? It doesn't have to be against anything. It's against the idea of racism.
Oh, I agree with that completely.
All right.
Would you say Donald Trump is a racist?
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
What would be your evidence of that?
You know, if you don't know, there's no point in discussion.
No, can you give me?
No, I don't.
No,
yes.
can you give me one piece of evidence?
No, I don't.
No, one piece of evidence.
We don't really need to talk to you at all.
You don't, but can you give me one piece of evidence of Donald Trump being a racist?
Tell me why you support Donald Trump.
Just one.
Tell me why you support Donald Trump.
Lowest ever black unemployment rate, largest middle class tax cut in American history, lowest ever Hispanic unemployment rate, lowest women unemployment rate in 60 years, lowest youth unemployment rate in 50 years. Denuclearization on the Korean Peninsula, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, withdrawing from TPP, first time that America's energy independent, no longer relying on Saudi Arabia or Russia for oil, getting NATO to
None of this is Hitler.
Which of those facts that I just said?
Where do you get your news?
Well, actually, from independent sources that you would agree with.
No, you don't.
Well, what did I just say that's untrue?
Everything.
Name one. You know, it's the lowest ever black unemployment rate. Lowest. So you would say Donald Trump is Hitler. Wow. Can you name one racist thing he said?
Yes, plenty, but there's
name
no
one.
Point in doing it with you.
Just one. Just one.
California to the New York Islands.
Keep singing if Donald Trump's the greatest president ever. Well, we have agreement on that.
Charlie Kirk, oh man, it's awesome. Guys, this isn't hard to see. These people have been lied to their entire lives. We're looking at folks that look like they're in the 50s and 60s, possibly retired. That's why they can take the afternoon and just stand around. They're all white, calling Donald Trump a racist, while we have black Americans leaving the Democrat Party because of Trump. And the fact that he's never been called a racist ever. We know Al Sharpton. We know what he's been doing his whole life. We can go back through Donald Trump's history and we can find out exactly what he's been doing. We got it right here on social media, helping the black community, helping inner cities. Yet we've got racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. Literally racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. Literally Hitler, fascism, dictatorship. That stuff's not even in his blood. He's a capitalist, you goons. And this at NUNNI, your opinion, I don't happen to agree, and I find it very interesting. Nobody, including a Mockingbird Media, ever called DJT a racist until he ran against Queen Hillary. Incidentally, I've been watching too. The MSM for decades has always called Republican presidents racist. This is a picture of Donald Trump with a handful of black folks trying to make inner city's great again. And this tweeted out Dr. 00001. They're all the same. This YouTube video from Donald Trump.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
They're all the same. These Democrats support giving illegal immigrants free health care at our expense, spending taxpayer dollars covering illegal immigrants, calling for socialized medicine, destroying health care as we know it, and putting illegal immigrants before hardworking Americans. The Democrats, radical, reckless, socialist. They're all the same.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm Brian Smith, and I approve Donald Trump's message. Every night, guys, we fight the good fight. New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news media, exposing the Democrat propaganda, and giving you the real news every single night, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Right after the shows, the Wayne Dupree Show, 8 to 9. 2 hours, nonstop, back-to-back news coverage, exposing the fake news and giving you the real news every single day. Jump down in the description below, crush the Patreon button. If you like what you hear, crush the retweet, crush the share, crush the follow. And as we see the Democrats' absolute, utter disdain and hate for this president, Bernie Sanders tweeting out racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. Guys, we don't take this no more, and we're fighting back. And don't think that they're not going to continue to fight, because they are. They are not giving up, and they're not giving in. We are winning because we're actually changing hearts and minds of former Democrats that are now walking away to the right side. Guys, this is where it's all at. Open arms. We welcome everybody. That's the problem with the Democrats. You got to toe their party line. You got to be what they say you are. Over here on the Trump train, you don't. You can be whoever you want to be. Just love America. That's all. And this, our good friend at Michael Johns. For once, let's give the president the benefit of the doubt. I know he wants better for Baltimore and the rest of urban America than decades of Democrat reign have delivered. I told China's Global Television News last night.
Michael Johns is in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. He's the co-founder of the U.S. National Tea Party movement, and Hillary Shelton is the director of the NAACP's Washington Bureau. Thank you to all of you for being with us. Hillary, let's start here in the studio. There we heard the president deny that he's a racist. He also said that he has a strong record of accomplishment on behalf of African Americans. Does he?
I would have to disagree. Certainly, if you look at a couple of these issues that he's raising, number one, as you talk about the unemployment rate, he's right at one hand, but on the other hand, it's not being totally honest or transparent. It is the lowest unemployment rate in the history since the data has been collected for about 80 years now, right around. But if you look at the African American unemployment rate, you recognize that in any given day, it's always at least twice higher than it is for the white American community and other communities as well throughout the country.
That's racist, my man. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that.
His verbiage is unpolished and could be better, but I'm just reading. This is the Baltimore Sun, December 8th, 2015. Bernie Sanders, presidential candidate, Democrat, very progressive, maybe as progressive as it gets, went through the Sandtown section of West Baltimore, described it this way. He said, "You would think that you were in a third world country." There was no outrage over that, no backlash, no allegations of racism. So in many respects, these allegations have become convenient euphemisms for political disagreements. And I think it's unfortunate because some of these are really legitimate issues there could even be some bipartisan agreement on if there was an opportunity afforded. But when we're talking about when we're getting into issues of allegations of racism, as opposed to talking about what's created poverty in Baltimore, why is $1.1 billion over the last 5 years not led to progress there, we're not talking about the questions that really matter.
He's absolutely right. It's all deflection. It's all convenience. It's all for political grandstanding. And yes, as Bernie Sanders said, we reported on it on, I believe it was on Monday. Baltimore looks like a third world country. It does. We've seen the pictures. We know about it. But getting to the heart of racism, NAACP chapter DC, dude, really? Unemployment's the lowest for African Americans. Donald Trump is right, but he's not right in the sense that the unemployment to whites is double. That ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump. The fact remains that he said it was the lowest ever. That's it. Now what? Come on, man. And this @Jelly_cat, great patriot to follow. The people of Baltimore want to work with POTUS to build up their inner cities through a national urban revitalization program. @Representative Cummins is not one of these people discussing fact.
Recreational, grocery, and employment opportunities. It will strengthen small, emerging, and other businesses as well as enable financial support of historically black colleges and universities like Wiley College in Marshall, Texas, where I attended. Mr. President, I want you and every agency and potential investor to know that in Baltimore, and in particular Broadway, East Baltimore, that we have the plan, we have the property, we have the people, we have the professional expertise, and we have the prospectus to jumpstart your urban initiative. Baltimore is prepared to be a demonstration project for a national urban revitalization strategy. We look forward to working with your administration on rebuilding opportunity in our urban communities that have suffered from disinvestment and dilapidation for decades. And we welcome you to come to Baltimore to see the potential transformative impact of your leadership and investment through this executive order. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Pastor. Today we are also proud to be joined by one of America's most admired business leaders, the co-founder of the television network BET, Bob Johnson. Bob, please. Hi, Bob.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm here to applaud you on two things. One you may not even know about, but Tim Scott does.
Good.
Just recently, your Department of Labor signed a historic document that created something called auto portability. Auto portability is designed to reduce retirement.
Designed to reduce the your 401k if you leave one a company and you move to another, or if you get fired from one and you leave a company, whatever. Usually they double tax you. They tax you at a really high rate, and a lot of times, low income individuals or people who are just starting out their job, a lot of times, it might only have a couple $100, a couple $1,000 in that plan. And getting taxed on that, if you withdraw it, which most of them do because they need the money, 35% tax up front, fees up front, and then at the end of the year, you got to pay tax on it again. Donald Trump changing that up, helping people with lower incomes to keep their own money, surrounded by a bunch of black men and women. I'm just saying, how is that possibly a racist? We've got it on display. Social media is showing us that Donald Trump truly a man for the people. And our second tweet from @Jelly_cat. Dems had two debates, didn't discuss once conditions of your community. This at Montage.
Black folks, I just want to have a quick 1-minute conversation with you. I see a lot of y'all celebrating in the clubs, popping bottles, drinking, drugging, having a great time, shaking your ass, grinding on shit. Meanwhile, a system set in place to continuously knock your ass off is winning right now. Again, you just seen Democrats have two debates, and nowhere near did they discuss the conditions of your community at all. In fact, they started speaking Spanish just to show you how much they give less about you. This nigga Cory Booker was on stage speaking Spanish. They voted to give every single immigrant that's not even in the country or here legally health care before they even give it to you, your mother, your grandmother, or your kids. How many of you has been to the doctor this year to have a checkup? I'll wait. How many of you are standing in hospitals and waiting on lines for hours and hours and hours to get seen by a doctor who treats you like Why is it that you believe that if you continuously give these people power over you, they're going to help you when all they've done is kill your ass off? What the fuck?
This @Winston Covfefe, sitting U.S. Senator Ron Wyden drives to Mexico, takes a random 8-month pregnant illegal alien, puts her in his car so that he can drive her to America and she can give birth there. When Border Patrol refuses to admit her, he said, hey, I'm a U.S. Senator and you have to let us in. And they let him in. What a psychopath. This at the Jim Hook. It didn't take long for the people of Baltimore to start thanking POTUS at real Donald Trump. Democrats have run this city for 50 years, and only now is the story of destruction, corruption coming to light thanks to this great president. Well done.
My message to Donald Trump is, first of all, I love you. Second of all, I wish you would employ more militant action to Baltimore City to decrease the crime levels, more finances to help people like myself who own their home but have fallen under hard times.
Late at night, you be outside on the streets at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and be safe. You, your family, your kids, and everybody just hang out on the streets. That's where everybody was hanging at, all during the night, during the morning. I'm talking about late in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You never had a problem here in Baltimore. I mean, this was a sweet, charming city. That's why they call it the Charm City, because everybody was nice and loving with each other. I don't know what happened now. Something just blinked. Somebody blinked, and it was a new picture. Now everybody lost their mind.
The spirit of Baltimore is very depressing.
And this at Jamie RODR 14. These men show an elderly woman so much kindness by helping her. God bless you. This is the America I love. Faith in humanity restored. And for those of you audio only, there's a elderly woman who has fallen down attempting to get into her car with her 100-year-old husband. And two black gentlemen are helping her up out of her scooter, helping her up to get in the truck. This is amazing. This is the America, not the race-baiting, hateful stuff that you get from the Democrats. And this at King Face 1, message to Al Sharpton from Montauk.
Just go to Reverend Al Sharpton. You're not even a reverend. First of all, you was a manager for Aretha Franklin. You work for the FBI, for the government, and you ain't been nothing to the black community but a damn infiltrator and a lying piece of shit. You're a rat. When Donald Trump was out here, every last one of you was kissing his ass, trying to suck dollars out of him. You taking shots at him, because the people who control you don't control him. But nigga, we know better. We know everywhere we find your black monkey ass, you somewhere trying to steal some dollars from somebody. And you still in debt right now, man. The only reason why you're not locked up is because you working for the feds. Is somebody gonna say how you wore a wire on the whole entire mob, or damn near all of them, a lot of them? Something of the sort. Anybody gonna talk about how you set up Martin Luther King Jr., how they had all of his rooms bugged and everything else, and somehow your punk ass walked away? You're not a civil rights leader, man. You're a coward. You use black people, Spanish people, you use everybody.
And this Antonio Tucker's homepage, former gangster turned believer in God, running for Congress in New York 14 to defeat AOC, globalist agenda. Donate here, Tucker.vote. Instagram as well.
The left media called Trump a racist. You really want to know who the racists are? Every time you hear these people talk about illegal immigration, you hear them speaking Spanish and talking as if there's only Latinos in this country that are illegal immigrants. Well, that's a lie. Because in fact, more people are here illegally in this country on overstay visas than people who've actually crossed that border. The thing is that they can continue to give you this bullshit about illegal immigration being about Latinos, instead of it being about people who are here illegally from all over the world. They can continue to create the narrative that somehow this president is racist when he's not. He's just trying to fix the issue. That's totally f***ed up because Congress is doing absolutely nothing about it. It's the Democrats that are talking about illegals and speaking Spanish as if somehow they're the only people who are illegal in this country. Illegal immigration became a Spanish issue when the Democrats made it a Spanish issue. The real thing is illegal immigration has to do with every single ethnicity you could think of coming from around the world here.
Wow, well said. Absolutely putting a little perspective on illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is not Mexicans. It's not Spanish. It's all people from around the globe, and we've been reporting here tens of thousands of people from countries that are on the no-fly list, that are on the banned list, that you cannot come to America if you live in that country. Yes, there's a lot of Muslims there, but they need to stay there, the terrorists that they are. sneaking into Mexico and coming up the border. And we know, because we've got reports here from DHS, that they know that they've caught thousands of ISIS fighters, thousands of illegal immigrants that are Muslim now attempting to gain access to America. We've also got reports of people being arrested that confess to a plot to create and cause terror in America. Democrats want this. Why, Brian? Why would Democrats want to create terror amongst people? That just doesn't make any sense. Guys, it's called divide and conquer. They want to divide each and every one of us up by our own ethnicities, by our own groups, and pit one another against each other, and then promise to fix it when in the beginning it was them who wrecked it. That's what we're talking about. And as you can see, I think I've made a damn clear case on the fact that all the hate and the racism and the bigotry and all that stuff is on the left. All of it's on the left. All of it's on the Democrats. There is nothing of that sort on the right. The Democrats want to put that on us, pure projection, knowing that in the past that we may recoiled, we may got upset because it wasn't us. Now you guys have called us racist, bigot, homophobes so long and so often, we ain't buying it. We don't even care. We embrace being deplorable. Whatever. We've got Black America standing up for Donald Trump, talking about what Donald Trump has done for them in the past. We are reporting it here every single day, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8. And right after the shows, the Wayne Dupree show. So don't miss that as well. Guys, we got to be out there. We got to keep fighting for what's right. We've got to keep at it. 2020 is around the corner. You got to get involved in your local GOP. Get involved in your local town council. Find out how to maybe run for city council member. There's all different kind of positions. Some of those positions are just automatically open. Like the person that held that seat just walked away, just didn't want to do it anymore. You can make a difference locally in your local community by becoming a local city council member. And you get paid for it. And it's not that much work. I think it's like every other Tuesday here where I live. So it's just for a couple of hours. So it's not that big a deal. Making decisions, debating back and forth with some of the Democrats and some of your other colleagues, as well as debating with the police chief and the mayor and having discussions about how your city is to be run. Folks, getting involved like that and then shifting gears, maybe looking to Congress, maybe looking to something bigger and better to make America great again, to keep America great. Guys, that's what it's all about. It's not that hard. It doesn't take that much time. Get plugged in. If you need help finding out where you need to get plugged in, DM me on Twitter or email me, Brian, at Smyth.tv. I respond to all the emails as well. And folks, to help continue to keep this show going on, jump down in the description below, crush the Patreon button, become a Patreon. There's all kinds of perks by being a Patreon, and you'll find all about that when you become a Patreon. Anyways, guys, for Wednesday Wisdom, tomorrow I'm going to be at the Trump rally in Cincinnati. It is going to be big. I'll be out there scoping. I'll be out there showing you the crowd. I'll be out there registering people to vote. I'll be out there really getting involved. Guys, this is going to be awesome tomorrow. Going to be loving it. So there'll be no show tomorrow, but there'll definitely be a scope around 7 o'clock. Somewhere around there, I'll be scoping the Trump rally and getting involved and engaging with Trump supporters. It is such an awesome time. Ain't no racist, sexist, bigot, homophobes there. Just great, true patriotic Americans. All right, guys, for Wednesday Wisdom, peace out.
New Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.